In our last episode, we talked about regrets and how you can still pursue your dreams. Do you feel that maybe you're too old now, that you missed the boat? Have you self-sabotaged your own efforts? Do you feel left behind in the dust while everyone is just way ahead of you? Well, you're not alone. A lot of people feel that way. And I want to encourage you that as long as there is life and breath in your body, there is still hope for your dreams. Today we're going to talk about rebooting your dreams. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine a few weeks ago, and she began to say how when she goes on social media, she sees all these picture-perfect lives of picture-perfect people with no problems in the world. They're vacationing, they have a tan, they're always smiling and happy and just seem to have the perfect lives with no problems. And she began to tell me that her life is just the complete opposite, that she isn't happy and she has a lot of financial problems, she feels overweight, she's overwhelmed with all her family issues with her children, and she's not in the job of her dreams, and the list goes on. And my heart just went out to her, because what you're seeing in social media is just a very small part of the whole picture, a very small portion of the entire story. Those same people have problems too. Nobody has a perfect life. Nobody is problem-free. What we see is a facade or a small part, but you have to understand that those people could be suffering from anything like mental illness. And how many times have we discovered that the person who had the picture-perfect life, that the famous actor or musician, and they end up committing suicide or they've died of cancer. Those people who seem to have the perfect life, the dream life, are also struggling with their own problems. Many of them have great pain underneath, depression or even despair, and you just don't know what problems or what struggles and battles someone is going through. And we can't judge a book by its cover, as the old saying goes. The cover says only so much, but there's a lot of pages underneath. So we need to be sensitive and have compassion on others, and we can't compare ourselves to others based on what we see, the small portion of what we see maybe on social media, or what we see when we meet people, because we all have our own battles. So I want to ask you this question. Are you living the life you want, the life of your dreams? Now, the one thing that may be different between you and someone who seems to have it all together is the mindset. Some people just are better at getting back up. They're better at bouncing back up and getting back on their feet or moving on. And I want to encourage you to move on today. I want to encourage you to get back up on your feet and take a step today in the right direction of your dreams, so you can live the life that you want in spite of the problems, in spite of the struggles that you may be going through within or at home or in your life. Now you only have one life to live. This is it. One life. What are you going to do with it? It's your life to steer in the direction that you want, in the direction of your dreams. Are you living your life for someone else, to please someone else, to make them happy? Or are you living the life that you want, the life of your dreams? Do you have the guts to take the chance, a risk, to maybe apply to that school of your dreams? Take that class, start a new job, start that business. What is it? What is your dream? What's that next step that's going to move you closer to that dream? I have a friend, he's an author and he writes some devotionals, and I'm going to read a little excerpt for you. His name is Hank Frazee, and he wrote, "Break up your dreams into smaller pieces, and if you take one small step a day, following this simple method, you will be at least 365 days closer to your dream." So if you take one small step a day, every day for 1 year, at the end of the year, 365 days, you're going to be that much closer to that dream. What is your dream? Every goal starts with a dream. And every dream begins with a strategy. And every strategy is sparked with a plan. I would like to read to you from the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. Habakkuk was a prophet in the Bible, and God spoke to him while he was spending some quiet time with the Lord at his watchtower. And that is where he would go to hear from God. And while he was there, God gave him a vision. And he told him to write it down and make it plain so those that read it would run with that message and herald that message wherever they go. And this message was for an appointed time. And that even though it would seem to delay, that it was going to be fulfilled at its appointed time. In Habakkuk 2, verse 1, it says, "I will climb up to my watchtower and stand at my guard post. There I will wait to see what the Lord says and how he will answer my complaint." In this first verse, he talks about hearing God, taking some time away. He went up to the watchtower to hear what God had to say. And in verse 2, "Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets, so that the runner can carry the correct message to others. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed." When God spoke to the prophet Habakkuk, he told him to write down the vision, to write down what he was hearing from the Lord. So those people who would read it, he wanted them to read it plainly, clearly. There was no question about what was written. It was clear enough that whoever read it could run who reads it, the herald. And when God speaks something, it will happen. And he said to write it down, and it may seem like it's delayed, but it will come at its right time, at the appointed time. I just want to reference this verse into our visions and our dreams. There are times where we have our own goals, our own visions, and there are fun things that we may want to do, sports or activities, and that's fine, that's great. And there are times when God will speak to our heart in prayer, or maybe when you were really young that God spoke to you about maybe writing a song or something that felt a little stronger than a hobby, something that felt like a calling or something that you were meant to do. And maybe it was writing or speaking or a certain career path. You know what it is. And that's when it becomes a little different. That's like what Habakkuk received was a divine message or a vision from the Lord. A vision in the Hebrew means, it can mean an oracle, it can mean a dream, revelation. Basically, it's a divine communication from the Lord. I just want you to think and reflect, and what could that be in your life? What is God speaking to you? What is that vision, that dream from God that he's given you to do? And what are the steps that you can take, one little step today that can make that happen? In over 365 days, you're going to be that much closer to it. Because when it's a dream, a vision from the Lord, you are going to be miserable until you start to do it. Because that's what you're meant to do. That's what you're meant to be. And I just want to have a moment of silence as you just think on what that could be. And I want to pray for you that your dreams will be rebooted and that you can start taking steps in the right direction of those dreams. And you know in your heart, you know in your soul what that is. And I want to encourage you, just like Habakkuk, he said to write it down. If you can write down that dream, make it a goal. And so you don't forget. The principle is about writing it down so you don't forget what God is speaking to you. Because we can get really busy in life. There's so much to do. There's always something to do or something to clean, especially if you have a house. So it's important to write out your dreams. Create a goal with those dreams. And every goal starts with a dream. And every dream begins with a strategy. And every strategy is sparked with a plan.